Welcome, I'm Jeff Phillips with Accounting Fly. You're watching Meet This Firm. Today we're talking to Sikich, one of the largest firms out of the Midwest. What's Meet This Firm? These are video series with some of the top employers of accounting talent in the United States. I love doing these. I love meeting the recruiters, the partners, and hearing the stories and sharing them with our Accounting Fly audience. So today we're talking to Sikich. So Sikich is based in Chicago. As I've just learned, they're in more locations than I had any idea. Just a few years ago, this was a fairly local enterprise based out of Naperville, Illinois. And now, as Kevin will tell you, our guest today, they are blowing up. They are all over the map and rapidly growing. This is a place that embraces career planning and just taking care of career development. So today's guest is Kevin Koladycz. Kevin is with Sikich. Kevin, so first thing, I'm super glad you're here. You have been a champion of Accounting Fly since the days we started, so it's great to have you on one of these. Tell our audience a little bit about your background.
Thanks, Jeff. Again, thanks for the introduction. I've been a longtime partner and advocate for College Frog and Accounting Fly. I am in charge of talent acquisition across the board for Sikich LLP. So when I first started with the firm, I think we only had a few hundred employees. We're more based throughout the Midwest and only primarily in Chicago, throughout Illinois and Indiana and some Missouri. Today, as I am here and speaking to you, we are over 100 million with over 700, close to 800 employees across 12 locations. Wow. Originally, again, being a more regional firm that has now started to explode across the country. We are headquartered still in Chicagoland, so about 30 miles west of downtown Chicago. But we do have offices in Chicago, throughout Wisconsin, Indiana, Missouri, Colorado, Texas, Boston, Massachusetts, and continuing to expand over throughout the East Coast and then the West Coast too as well. So it's a very exciting time to be a part of the organization and firm. We have a wide variety of different solutions for our clients to purchase. And as an employer, we're a great employer in the fact that we provide public accounting solutions, in particular audit, tax, accounting services. And then we do technology. So we're one of the top technology consulting firms across the country. So we do full-scale ERP implementations and support. We do security and compliance, so PCI, QSA testing, penetration testing, ethical hacking. We do IT outsourcing, managed services, where we are the IT provider and IT department for organizations of all sizes. And then we do web design and development. On top of all that, we do have an abundance of advisory solutions where we do wealth management, financial planning, investment banking, graphic design and PR, HR consulting, supply chain consulting, and then some executive search and staffing. So it's just really unique for a client to be able to get a one-stop shop in terms of all their needs. And then as an employer of choice, majority of our employees come in either the accounting or technology arena, but then they branch out and get a chance to grow their career personally and professionally. So I'm really excited to be here, Jeff. I have probably about 15 years plus of talent acquisition experience.
Cool.
I've worked for very small organizations that were 12 people that eventually became a billion-dollar organization. I've worked for technology startups such as CareerBuilder.com and helped them grow and rebrand in both the Chicago markets and across the globe. And then I've worked for other small startups as well. So it's nice. I think we have something very attractive for an employee. We're not for everybody, but if you like an exciting culture where it has the large enterprise resources and stability, yet the small firm culture and feel, we're a great employer of choice. Our very core values of the firm, and what I tell people is we're very candid in our communication, very entrepreneurial, very easy to do business with, very big believers in honesty, integrity, and accountability. So I'm very excited to be able to talk to you a little bit more about the organization.
You guys have so much going on, Kevin. And I see it as a clear advantage of having a career path at Sikich because there's so many opportunities to do business. There's just a lot of
Hmm.
places you could get involved in. So, I mean, would you say that that's an advantage for accountants to spend their career there?
Very much so. What's so nice about being an accountant, both audit, tax, accounting services, whatever you want, forensic accounting, it's really nice for somebody coming fresh out of school to be able to walk into an organization and to be able to build their own brand. So, great tools out there in the marketplace are geared towards individuals coming out of school, and they talk consistently about building your brand. Well, we actually take that a step further as a part of Sikich, and the fact that we allow you to get your hands and feet wet in multiple solutions, client areas, whether it's government, nonprofit, for profit, where you're dealing with manufacturing, construction, distribution, clientels, but you get a strong repertoire before you feel that you need to specialize. And if in 2 to 3 years you decide that the traditional audit or tax route is not the route you want to go, you can go into forensic, you can go into valuation. If you want to switch and go into technology and use your accounting knowledge, but to implement accounting and enterprise resource planning software, we allow you to do that. So
I imagine that a lot of our audience are high performers. They want a challenge. They want an interesting job. So I hear that there's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of opportunities to go into different paths. What's the other stories, the other headlines for high performers as to why they should trust their career at Sikich?
well, what's so nice is we had a company-wide conference call that we meet. I think it's generally quarterly, where our
Right.
CEO and COO brings up a leadership panel, and there's an open Q&A, and they talk about the financials of the firm and kind of where the firm's growing, and make sure that people know the direction. But also that this past time we spent 20 minutes talking about career paths and what it takes to be partner, both from an income perspective, for an equity perspective, as well as what it costs to buy in. But our CEO specifically talked about, if you're not interested in making partner, there are career paths and there's a place here for you. So if you are an individual one that really is not interested in making partner, but wants to focus more on having a stable organization which fosters an environment and a strong culture, yet allows you to have that work-life balance, whether it's hours, commute, um, overnight travel. We foster that environment, and we've been recognized across the globe for it too. So,
Wow.
um, most of the people here are generally interested in making partner from the get-go. But we realize that as you grow with your personal path, but also your career path, things change all the time. Whether you're 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 or 50, things are always changing, and we want to
Yeah.
be that employer that will adapt to you. So I can think of one individual, which is nice because she came in, she actually interned for much larger accounting firm, one of the top accounting firms across the globe. She interned for them one summer, did really well, and thought that was the path that she wanted to go, was to do traditional audit. She interned with us in our technology practice her second summer and realized that traditional audit wasn't the path she wanted to go, and wanted to take her career more down to the technology side. Um, and so what we did was we gave her an opportunity to come use her accounting education and curriculum and translate that into dealing with clients and implementing accounting software and ERP software. She also didn't want to waste the 4 years of education that she spent and then the additional fifth year on her accounting background, and didn't want to lose that. So we paid for her to get her CPA. She finished her CPA here, started out working as an entry-level technology consultant. After about 3 years, decided that she wanted to pursue a family in her personal life. Got married, wound up starting to grow her personal family. Still wanted to have the balance between coming to work and being a consultant, but then wanted to have the work and the flexibility to be able to come in a little earlier, come in a little later,
Sure.
and handle daycare. After being in the challenge, or being in the multitasking role of dealing with clients, but then dealing with her children, she expressed an interest in going into more of a sales role. So she did. We allowed her to go and deal with current customers and clients, help upsell them on current business, but truly target and make sure that we had a better customer service experience for them.
Wow.
After about a year doing that, she expressed interest in going back to a consulting role, as she just wasn't in having fun, working with clients and being able to drive new revenue, and didn't really like the customer service 100% focus. She wanted to be able to consult and truly advise clients on what solutions they need. So we offered her the opportunity to go back into consulting.
Wow, came full
Um,
circle.
yeah, and now, as I sit here today, she's been with the firm for over 10 years. It's the only employer she's known outside of her other internship. And she's been in 5 different roles. She's a mentor to young ladies coming out of school for us that have an interest in growing a personal family as well. And, we allow her to do that. She's just a strong role model and mentor for not only females across the organization, but all employees. She's actually a mentor to people in the recruiting department as well.
What a
So
fantastic story. I mean, that explains so much about Sikich right there.
it really does. I mean, it goes back to a lot of the things I've talked about before. If you're candid with your people around you, your manager, you express a passion for the organization, and are just open with it, and are very entrepreneurial and take advantage of your career and put that into your own hands. We're a great environment for any employee,
when
whether
you,
that's accounting, technology, or advisory. Even if it's somebody like myself, helping the organization grow from a shared services background or path.
can you think of an example of maybe somebody who came from a big four and went to work at Sikich, and just in a word or two, why they liked the fact that they left a big four and went to Sikich?
I can think of 2 people, but in particular one. There's a young lady that worked for Sikich, interned for us. The following summer, interned for a Big Four firm. Turned down. Both of us provided formal offers of employment upon graduation. She turned us down, but did it in an extremely professional manner, was open and honest about why, kept up a good relationship with us during her first year of work. Loved working for a Big Four organization and some of the stability it fostered and some of the experience she gained, but ultimately just felt that there was some kind of calling, and wanted to work maybe for a smaller organization that was emerging, to see what that was like, and maybe have her hands wet into multiple industries. So she reached out to myself and one of our partners and expressed an interest in coming here. And we offered her the opportunity based on the fact that she was extremely professional, very honest when she turned us down the first time. Came over and has really flourished in our environment. She's taken some of the structures that she's received, working for a larger organization, some of the ideas and processes that they have in place, and helped us do some of the similar things here, but maybe a little bit better or a little differently for an emerging organization. And she's been really rewarded in terms of the fact that she's felt like she's had a voice. She feels like she has an integral part, and she's truly valued here.
What's what's 1 or 2 words that you would use to describe the culture of Sikich, Kevin?
Always tell people very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
And then I just tell people from there, I think just accountable. So I think, at the end of the day, people are very entrepreneurial. Yes, there are positions and opportunities where, there is a lot of guidance and there's a lot of hand holding, but majority of the employees that work here, they run it like it's their own business. They care about the firm and their coworkers and the business for their own different reasons, and they take them into their own hands. So people are always asking questions. They're not afraid to voice their opinion and make suggestions, and feel like they're going to have any repercussions if it's not something that is generally accepted. So we do foster a lot of different avenues and information sharing. We actually have a portal where all employees have access to that on a weekly basis. They can talk about some different things and suggestions that they have for the organization, even if it's something as little as volunteer efforts. But also, hey, our benefits after the Affordable Care Act took place, some of our benefits structured. So people had questions, comments, concerns, and they were able to voice those in a very public forum, and be able to get those comments out there, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. The latter half of that is we're very accountable to each other, accountable to our clients, and accountable to the business. So, if you're doing very well, it's recognized. If you're struggling, that's also noted and handled in particular, professional manner to get you up and running, because we all need help in different avenues. So
Sure. Um, so what open jobs or what hot jobs do you guys have open right now that you're trying to get the word out? You're trying to get applicants for?
yeah, I think anybody who's had, anybody coming out of school, we're always interested in bringing people out of school. 38%, almost 38% of our total hiring comes from the campus ranks.
Okay.
So we are very cognizant of the future of our organization is people coming from, individuals that have, less than 5 to 10 years of experience, work experience. So they bring you a whole new work ethic, a different perspective, a different approach, and whole new ideas, to the organization. So we look for people from that ranks, but we're always looking for experienced professionals as well. If you've been in an organization for 1 to 2 years and it's just not right for you and ready to make a role, we have opportunities here on that side, both in the accounting, the advisory, and the technology suite of all skill sets and background. And then we also have a lot of opportunities where if you've been working somewhere for 5 to 10 years, been with a firm, for a little bit, and just you realize that maybe you need to relocate, or you need to cut down a particular commute, or the big city life or the rural area is not for you. We have the best of both worlds, and we do hire professionals that have been established in other careers as well.
Cool. And I imagine if they wanted to check out particular openings, you've got your listings on Accounting Fly as well as Sikich's website where they can learn more.
Correct. www.sikich.com/careers. And then we are all on all the different various avenues of social media. So you always hear LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. We're on Instagram, and we're actually on Snapchat as well. So
Good. What about a random piece of advice you have for a job seeker?
You know what? I always tell people this might not be the best advice, but I've been doing this for 15 years,
Right.
And I encourage people to never take no for an answer. So if you want to be something, or you have an interest in, auditing, we have a couple major high-profile professional sports franchises as clients of ours. So if that's an interest for you, don't take no. Find a way to make it happen. Take your career and put it into your own hands. Be passionate about whatever you're doing. If you're not, it's probably not a good side. Quit. You can find something you're passionate about, and the money and the career will come afterwards. So I always tell people, don't say no. Don't take no for an answer. If you wanna make it, or if you want something, don't let anybody discourage you.
Whether that's a job, a business, anything. I totally agree with you. That's awesome advice. It's always my favorite question on these videos, so thanks for that. Hey, Kevin, thanks for your time. Thanks for the introduction to Sikich. This is a rapidly growing entrepreneurial place that really fosters career growth. I know a ton more about it just by hearing you talk about it. I appreciate your time, and I know that people can learn more on Accounting Fly or at your website, at your social media. So, Kevin, thanks a lot. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to see you again.